Hi everyone, it's Sandy, and today I'm filming the mid-year book freakout tag, which was created by Chammy from Read Like Wildfire and Ellie from Ellie Jane. I will leave links in the description box below. I originally did this tag in 2015 and it is now 2017, and I really wanted to do an updated version with the books that I've read so far this year. The first question is the best book that you've read so far this year. I do want to mention two books for this question. The first one is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm sure you guys have heard of this book before, but if you haven't, this is a book that is inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, and it follows a 16-year-old girl named Star who witnesses one of her friends being shot and killed by a police officer. I think this book is amazing. It discusses a lot of different themes such as police brutality and racism, and I think it's a book that everyone needs to read. It is so important and relevant to our society today. This book does deal with a very real issue, but it does have some light moments in it as well, and I especially love the family dynamics. I love the interactions between Star and her family. It really is a fantastic book and it deserves all the praises. Another best book that I've read this year is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This book follows Griffin, whose ex-boyfriend Theo just recently passed away in a drowning accident, and it follows Griffin as he reminisces on his past with Theo and as he's grieving Theo's death. I do have a full review on this book, which I will link down below if you guys want to check it out. I think Adam Silvera is an amazing author. I really love his writing and the characters, and his books make you feel all the feels. I think the author does a great job at capturing Griffin's feelings of grief and mourning, and it's a beautiful book and I highly recommend it. The next question is the best sequel that you've read in 2017, and I have to go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This really is an amazing sequel. I have a full spoilery discussion on it, which I will link down below if you want to hear more of my thoughts. I really love all the different developments in the story with the plot and with the characters. I just love the Shadowhunter world and I love the Blackthorn family. The third question is a new release that you haven't read yet but want to. I have a few books that I want to mention for this question, and the first one is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. The reason I haven't picked this book up yet was because I didn't own it yet, and when I went to New York, I went to the Strand and I found this book for $9 for a brand new hardcover, and I was so happy. I immediately picked it up and knew I was going to buy it. I still have the sticker on it, which I will take out right now because I don't like stickers. That was so smooth. I love it when stickers are like peeled off very smoothly and doesn't leave any residue on it. The next new release that I haven't read yet but want to is Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. This is the third and final book to the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. I just need to know how it ends, and I've heard from quite a few people that this is their favorite book in the trilogy, which I personally wasn't expecting. And the third new release that I haven't read yet but want to is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. The cover of this book is so cute, and it follows two Indian American teens whose parents have arranged a marriage between them. Our main girl character Dimple doesn't want this arranged marriage, but our main guy character Rishi does. These two characters end up going to the same summer program together. Rishi is trying to win Dimple's heart and make her fall in love with him, and it just sounds like a really cute book and I can't wait to read it. The fourth question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have two books for this question. The first one is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book follows two boys who receive a call telling them that they are going to die today. They are complete strangers, but they end up connecting through this app and they end up spending the rest of the day together, I'm assuming. As you guys know, I do really like Adam Silvera's books and I can't wait for this one to come out. I really wanted to get a copy at BookCon, but they had very limited copies available and the lines were huge for those copies. Unfortunately, I didn't get an ARC, but I will be purchasing a copy when it comes out. This book comes out September 5th, 2017. And the next book that I'm really anticipating is Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. This book is an East Asian fantasy reimagining of The Evil Queen. I am so excited for this book because A, it's diverse, and B, I really love The Evil Queen, especially since I watched Once Upon a Time, and The Evil Queen / Regina is one of my favorite characters in that show. In Once Upon a Time, The Evil Queen is such a complex character and I love her for her complexity. So I'm super excited to read this East Asian reimagining because it sounds like it's going to be amazing and I can't wait for it to come out. This book comes out on October 10, 2017. The fifth question is biggest disappointment, and I haven't read many books that were like a huge disappointment to me. I haven't rated a book a 1 star or even a 2 stars this year so far, but a book that I did think was a disappointment was one that I mentioned in my May wrap-up, and it is Starfall by Melissa Landers. This is the second book to the Starflight duology. This is a companion book, so it follows two different characters' point of views. I really was interested in these characters when I read Starflight, but reading about them in this book was just really frustrating because they were constantly on and off. There was a lot of miscommunication going on between between them, and I didn't like their interactions for a majority of the book, so these two characters were what made the book a lot less enjoyable for me. It was a book that I thought I would enjoy, but unfortunately I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. The sixth question is biggest surprise, and for me that would be Dangerous Girls by Abigail Hawes. This book is a thriller book, and it follows our main character who goes to Aruba with a bunch of her friends for spring break. One of her best friends ends up being killed during this trip, and she becomes the main suspect, so it follows her throughout the trial period. I really enjoyed this book, and the ending was definitely surprising. The seventh question is favorite new author, and this could be a debut author or an author that's new to you. I'm going to repeat an author, and I'm going to go with Angie Thomas. I'm not going to talk more about her since I've already talked about The Hate U Give, but I'm really looking forward to the next book that she's going to publish in the future. The eighth question is newest fictional crush. I haven't read a book with a character that I've fallen completely head over heels for, so unfortunately I don't have a new character to add to my book boyfriends list. The next question is newest favorite character, and I'm going to pick two characters because they're from the same book, and that is Denna and Mare from Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. I think these two characters have a lot of traits that I really love finding in characters. They're both very strong and intelligent, and I just really love reading about these two characters. The 10th question is a book that made you cry, and I'm going to have to repeat a book for this question, and that book is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I was a sobbing mess after reading this book. I haven't cried this much over a book since I read Allegiance, so I feel like that's definitely saying something, because Allegiance came out in the fall of 2013, so that was almost 4 years ago. Oh my god, that's so crazy that it was so long ago. The 11th question is a book that made you happy, and I'm going with Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. This is a contemporary book that was incredibly cute, fun, and relatable, and it made me so happy to read. This is a book that takes place at a convention, and it follows two characters who are best friends, and I really do think it's a book that a lot of you guys would enjoy and even relate to one aspect or another in it. I think it's a really great book, and I really want more people to read it, so definitely pick it up if you are interested. The next question is your favorite book to film adaptation that you saw this year. The only book to movie adaptation that I saw this year was Everything Everything, and honestly I didn't really like the movie that much. I do know a lot of people who did enjoy that movie, but that movie just wasn't for me. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy the book that much, so I knew I wasn't going to love the movie. But in terms of adaptation, I do think it's a pretty good book to movie adaptation. I haven't read the book in a while, but I do think it captures the characters and the story. The 13th question is your favorite book review that you've written this year or your favorite video that you uploaded. I'm going to cheat with this question because the video that I want to mention isn't a video that I uploaded on my channel, but it's a video that I took part in, and I collabed with Kevin from Irish Reader. I will leave the link to that video down below, but it's a video called If Booktubers Dated. If you have not seen this video, you guys need to watch it. I think it's really funny, and I had so much fun filming it, and I really loved how it turned out, and I especially love the bloopers, so definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The 14th question is the most beautiful book that you've bought or received so far this year. I'm going to go with a chapter sampler that I received at BookCon this year, and it is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This cover is beautiful. I love all the colors and just the overall design of this cover, and the book itself will have these illustrations in it, and the illustrations are so beautiful. I'm already loving it, and I can't wait for the full book to come out. And the last question is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I also have two books for this question. The first one is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and the second one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. These two books have been on my TBR for so long. I just need to get to them, and I really hope to get to them this summer. So those are all the questions for this tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!